thanks for joining us on Don't Go Uncovered, don'tgouncovered.com, your place for all the marketplace help you can get in the world. I'm here with Mark again.
In the
on the planet, yeah. So I wanted to start off by saying, there was an important vote that passed on our last episode. We talked about the enhanced extended subsidies.
We spoke a lot about rates and prices.
I don't think we talked really about what's going to happen if it does pass, because, I talked to you about it earlier today. Yeah, it's passed the House several times. It's yet to pass the Senate on several occasions. A version of what we're talking about right now, which is the extended subsidies. How many? And I'm reading that it's going to affect 22 million people, I believe. What's going to happen if it does pass in the Senate and doesn't get vetoed by the president?
Well, I mean, is everybody that hopefully everybody that's watching, maybe we need to revisit like what you're talking about, because I think they might be confused of like, I thought the subsidies were here already. Right, or gone, and
they are.
Well, they're not gone, no, because so we've been getting thousands of phone calls of people who are watching the news, and they're saying, "Oh, we have no more subsidies." The last time we talked all about, we showed prices for people making $70,000, $80,000, $100,000. You're still qualifying for free coverage,
low or free plans,
and they forget that the reason it's free is because those subsidies are still here.
Right.
The problem, what you're referring to, is all of these 20 million people, over 20 million people, that ended up falling off the subsidy cliff.
Right.
So these people went from having and getting help, paying for their insurance, to now, under the Biden administration, the extended subsidies.
Yes.
When all hell broke loose, right? So when all the COVID stuff happened, got these other individuals to lower their cost.
Typically higher earners.
Oh, they had to be over 400% of the FPL.
Right.
So you're talking of, somebody who was making if you were older, family, the cost of insurance was expensive. You could be making $150,000, $200,000 a year, and that was lowering the cost of your insurance.
As a result of the American Rescue Act.
Correct. That's gone. Right. That's the whole thing that's
31st.
gone. And now the impact, which we knew, we've been talking about, okay, these people needed to call, they needed to talk with us. And now we're in the reality of January the 1st, and people are getting their real bills.
Right.
Now it's like, smacked right in the face. Okay, here we go now.
Right.
So now what the government just approved is they've known this was going to happen. Now let's go ahead and look at how can we help these people? Right. They didn't make it before the government shut down. So now here it is, the new year, and we got it passed through phase 1. Now we got to go to phase 2. Right. So phase 2 has to get approved and then go to the president to get those people who are now remove their subsidies a subsidy back.
Yeah, and I don't like to politicize these podcasts, but we have no choice but to, because we're so completely controlled by politics.
Yeah,
and kind of my take on it now is, we've got the midterm elections coming up, and I've heard Trump say it himself, he thinks he's going to kind of be in trouble if he loses, and he will be if he loses Congress. And it's really making the Republicans that are pushing back against this. Now, 17 voted on Monday with the Democrats.
Correct.
I think that was a huge deal. But in my opinion, I think it's got a better shot at passing right now just because of the midterms coming up. And they're struggling to find anything that's going to be a gold medal for them that they can take out on the stump speeches.
I am hopeful, but to me, I don't understand why we needed to get to where we're at. And everyone knew this was happening, but everybody swept it under the rug. Nobody wanted to talk about it. And now all of these individuals are going to get some sort of SCP, because open enrollment is over.
It's basically over.
It's over, right? I mean, so we got open enrollment is complete. So now these individuals who chose to go without coverage in many cases because it's $2,000-$3,000 a month, we're going to have to get an SCP. We're going to talk to them, and I cross my fingers, and I'm very hopeful, optimistic that it gets approved.
Right, but will we be in a new enrollment window if that happens?
They'll have to create a new enrollment. Yeah, that would be now. This is where they all can't agree. Because, some sides of the aisle are talking about infusing money into HSA accounts or letting other ways of paying for it. So until they come up, and let's hope, again, be optimistic, until they come up with a good plan, they need something for at least the next year, 2 years, and if maybe a phase out period.
Right.
Right.
And they're talking about 3 years, extending it for 3 years
that's
now.
what I've
So I
seen.
think they have begun to take that a little more seriously. Like, we can't just do this for 12 months.
You cannot have these individuals walking around uninsured.
Right.
We say it all the time. Don't go uncovered, right? There's a reason we breathe that. We tell everybody because the risks are too high. So even giving these individuals some level of subsidy or some level of money to get even that catastrophic coverage that in case something happens policy that's affordable,
right,
for everybody under the Affordable Care Act, that's something that I think we can do, right? They should be able to agree to that, and hopefully we will have that solution.
Yeah, and I think that the subsidy cliff was ignored when it was staring everybody right in the face. And like we talk about every episode all the time, don't go uncovered, don't go uninsured. And this guaranteed that people were going to go uninsured last week, January 1, beginning of the year. And it could have been avoided.
We saw very large rate increases where people had, they unfortunately had premium choices of a mortgage. Am I going to pay my mortgage, or do I have health insurance?
Right.
And is for some higher income individuals is a very real conversation that we were having.
Yeah, and it's very impactful to families too. Obviously, probably more impactful than anything, really, if you think about it.
This is 20+ million people, but anybody who was impacted still needs to call.
Right.
We still want to, because there are other solutions, and there's going to be some sort of alternative, right? So I know, all the carriers I speak with, all of the people that I talk to in the industry, they're all scrambling to come up with a viable solution. So that way, whatever happens with the Affordable Care Act, hopefully we get our subsidies returned in some capacity, right? So those extended subsidies get bolstered back up. But there's got to be another solution because the system has to change. So
it's not one problem.
Right. So you have to be with a trusted advisor. You got to work with an agent, a team that is going to guide you through that whole process.
Yeah. And to that point, you'll like this stat. Web traffic was up 25% this year for people with health insurance.
I like that stat.
Whether that's, you got to think about what really motivated that. It probably was more confusion in the marketplace, I would say. But what, in your opinion, someone out there just looking for the marketplace, they want to search for the marketplace, they want to go to HealthCare.gov.
Yeah.
What is that experience like? Obviously, we want them to call us first, and we've shown people on these episodes kind of what it's like to enroll online for a policy. What can you give people in terms of tips or a way to really kind of go in it with some knowledge when going to HealthCare.gov? If they think they're going to do it on their own, what would you say to them?
Well, I am definitely an advocate of doing your homework. Everybody should absolutely do their homework, do some checks and balances, but going it alone and doing it on your own, while it may seem as if you can just check a few boxes and look this up and look that up, there is some real industry knowledge about how the policy is going to work, the things that you want covered and how they're going to get covered, that working with someone on our team doesn't cost anybody any extra money. You're not paying any more, and most people pay less. I'll give you a good example. We talked to somebody the other day, and they didn't understand. They were on this amazing policy that covered absolutely everything, and they had a high need of healthcare, right? So they were using their policy a lot. One family member. The other family member never used their policy.
Right.
And what we were able to do is go in with this family and give the high need individual the policy they need, give someone else a policy they need. We saved the family about $1,100 a month. They were a little bit older, but we were able to absolutely change the dynamic of what they were paying every single month just by knowing what you can do.
Yeah.
Right. Like I didn't even know that was an option.
And I kind of remember in the beginning, people looked at it, even agents probably looked at it and going, now we got a website that's got every carrier on it. It's tied into the IRS. It's tied into immigration. It's tied into what else? I can't even, the list goes on and on. How are you able to simplify that whole process with our agents working specifically with our soon-to-be members?
Well, the fact that we have done, a few 100,000 applications over the time, I mean, probably over the years, we're probably close to 1 million transactions at this point.
Sure.
So, I mean, we do it all the time. You do it once a year, maybe.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, it's almost like filing your taxes. Okay, yeah, you can go through the easy process. But once you start having complications, like just your life in general, I don't know about your life. My life is a little complicated. I'm sure yours gets that way at times.
Yeah, see it, Bruce.
So I don't need the easy form, right? I don't want an easy form with my health either. I want to make sure that somebody who knows what they're talking about is helping me choose the right policy.
Can it be a fun process? Because I know nobody says, I got to move that up on my calendar. I got to buy my insurance policy on November 15th.
Fun? I don't know about how fun it is. It can definitely be amusing. It can be engaging, depending on your agent. You talk to certain people. They are fun people.
Right.
Some people are more analytical. We have so many different agents that have so many different personalities. They mesh with. Hopefully, you find one that meshes with you. And if not, work with somebody else on our team. But talk to someone that's a professional.
Right.
You got to find somebody even if it's not with our organization, just don't do it by yourself. Right? Talk to somebody who does it every day. They know all of the ins and outs. Again, whether or not our agent, you don't do it.
Right.
I wouldn't want you to do it.
That's the goal.
Yes.
That's the goal.
Have somebody help you.
Do you feel like the marketplace has lived up to what it promised?
From its inception?
From 2010 when the Affordable Care Act passed.
What's the name?
The Affordable Care Act.
Okay.
ACA.
The Affordable Care Act?
Yes.
Okay. The Affordable Care Act is definitely
It's
not
the first word.
meshed up to affordability to the current status. If and unless you meet the original parameters.
Is that because the tax penalty went away?
No. I think that the cost of insurance has gotten so high.
It's
and
primarily.
So maybe let's retract that and rewind and go back and say, because if I'm going to answer that, the way that Obamacare was designed originally, the way it sits today in January of 2026 is pretty close.
Yeah.
Right? The only difference is your deductibles are higher, your out-of-pocket expenses are higher, right? Because those numbers have gone up. But overall, the affordability of it is pretty much the same. Mm-hmm. We got comfortable with a whole bunch of other people that the Affordable Care Act originally wasn't designed to help.
It wasn't supposed to address that.
It wasn't even in the original part of it. Anybody over 400%. That was originally what was approved. We just got comfortable that all of those other people were getting help and needed it.
Right.
Because those people were not getting insured other places either.
No, of course not.
So what's the solution for them? That's what we need next.
Right. And where does that solution come from, really? Because that's what you're talking about. Can those solutions come from the carriers?
In the current state of the way that they're allowed to file policies, no.
They can't.
Yeah, it has to be done differently because of the restrictions that they have if you're offering an Affordable Care Act plan. Mm-hmm. And one of the big pushes is because like the Affordable Care Act benefits is one of the big problems we're having the issues within the government of approving the extra benefits and the extended subsidies.
Right.
A lot of that political stuff that's happening, the sticking points
yeah.
in there are caused because of Republicans with the abortion
social
clauses
issues
that are in there and other social clauses that they don't want to support. So.
Right. And that's when it becomes overly politicized and
yes.
people get more confused by it as well.
But people need to be insured. It's going to, overall, if you look at it, it's going to hurt the system because the hospital systems will be suffering because they will have uncompensated care because people are going to go to the emergency room when they get sick.
And
where else are they going to go?
And you were talking about of course, I mean, that's never going to change. It's always been the same, right?
Yeah.
And I know you were talking the other day about the hospital networks increasing the amount that they're going to charge by 60%, something along those lines. Is this the future that we're headed towards? I mean, nothing goes down in price. We know that. But huge jumps like you were talking about the other day, is that just a nature of usage in the hospital systems and the doctor networks?
They're a business. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what we all forget,
For
right?
profit.
So my doctor did not spend 12 years in college. He wanted to drive his 911 Porsche, and he wanted to make a lot of money, and he does it because it's a business, right? Yes, you want to help people and all of that, but a lot of people are in the medical field for profitability. Mm-hmm. So that being said, nice hospitals need to negotiate good deals, and they're negotiating it as a business, and they're going to try and get as much money as they can. And it's the insurance companies pay as little as they can because they have to balance all of it. It's always the big bad insurance company that's causing the problem. But when you look at the hospitals and the doctors needing to pay their bills and all of their insurances and all of their properties and all of those things, it's kind of this tug of war with the customer stuck in the middle.
Right. We've got an aging population too on top of everything.
Right.
Need more care and more care every year.
Well, so one thing I would just add is that I was just talking to someone about the care, and we were talking about the high cost of drugs inside, and that's really driving up the cost of insurance is high cost of drugs,
Medication,
right?
yeah.
High cost of medical services. And we were...
I didn't think the timer was on.
So we were talking about high cost of
Prescription.
medical prescription drugs, and they were like, we can't believe that this medication is $15,000, $20,000 a month. That's absolutely insane. How's that happening? And they're talking all about socialized Medicare, medical and governmental provided. And they're like, oh, well, if we were in Europe, we would be getting this. I'm like, you wouldn't even get the drug.
Right.
It just wouldn't even be available. You wouldn't even know it's there.
Right.
Like, you'd be doing the other $4,000 medication or whatever it is. So I think a lot of it becomes to be relative at how amazing the medical system is here, but at the same time,
it does work.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
The medications are just nuts.
And everything they've tried to cap. I mean, Trump's done it himself to try to cap
an
these
ongoing
pharmaceutical
battle,
companies,
yeah.
and their pricing is just impossible.
Like, how can you justify a medication of $40,000 a dosage?
Yeah, it just hurts their reputation. They keep charging it.
Right.
It doesn't really matter. So at the point we're at right now, early in the year, mid-January, we don't really have an answer on the extended subsidies yet. What's your suggestion? I mean, this is what this show's about: is don't go uncovered. What are you suggesting to people that said, oh, it's just I can't deal with this bill. I'm going uninsured.
I would say, be careful. Get a helmet.
Don't hang glide.
Don't hang glide. Choose your activities wisely.
Rock climbing.
Don't eat chicken.
But are there solutions?
Yes,
out there?
I'm kidding. 100%. Give us a call. There are solutions that may not be the most appealing in everybody's eyes. It may not be that full range coverage, but it's going to give you a level of protection in some manner, some way, shape, or form. Even policies like, people don't think about it, but like life insurance policies, we call them critical illness policies.
Sure.
At least what that does is, okay, I'm going to take a chance with my health. But if you get diagnosed with you have a heart attack, they give you a check for $50,000.
Right.
Right. You have a stroke, it's $50,000. You get cancer, it's $100,000. So you may not have the ongoing care and maintenance because you don't want to pay for it.
Right.
But at least have something there. So if you do get sick, you get a bucket of money that you can play with for your family. At least you can be out of work for a little bit. There's real big reasons to talk to us.
And we have great options when it comes to what we call those are the ancillary products.
Correct.
That I think a lot of people aren't aware or even really available. A lot of people, they may understand what an AFLAC is or something like that, but they don't understand there's individual ancillary policies out there that really fit a lot of specific, like you just mentioned and described, needs.
We will. We can absolutely cover those specific condition-specific kind of programs. And then, cross our fingers, we're going to have an SEP, and we will be writing everybody that, that's can't afford their coverage. So they need to call to see if they can get it more affordable. And remember, a lot of people who have a plan now might have an SEP to change that plan.
Right. Yeah.
So
and don't even know.
Don't even know.
Can you mention a couple of what do we get most of the time when it comes to SEPs?
Income changes, just income changes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I have a policy now, or I got a raise, I lost some money, I lost hours at work. That gives us the ability to change their policy if they had to change like that.
And then we have people who are moving zip codes, people who are having a baby, divorce.
Yeah.
I mean,
those
a lot
life
of
events,
reasons.
most people know they can change their insurance. If you have a new baby coming along is usually a big, a big part of it. So, but the income is probably the biggest one.
Yeah, that we see most. Well, great. Well, thank you for another great episode.
Awesome. It was good seeing you.
Good job.
We're playing golf soon, hopefully.
And I think we will once I heal up.
Oh, that's right.
That's
right. You have an injury.
I do have an injury, and it was covered.
Was it an accident plan injury, or was
it was my major medical covered it.
Nice.
Did really well with it. Very, very.
No one does really well, but you did. It was affordable.
Yeah, it was painful
because you were covered.
It was painful yet affordable.
Painfully affordable.
Yeah. Well, thanks again for joining us here on Don't Go Uncovered, and log on to the website. Give us a call, the number on your screen, and call early, right? Don't wait around.
No, just call.
Yeah, just call us today.
Call today.
get hooked up with an agent that's going to help you, probably for the long term, can help you year after year after year. But we can't do anything unless you call the number on your screen or log on to don'tgouncovered.com.
Thanks, everybody.